So this power position is going to be the biggest power position in Devastation, and it might take me a while to go through this, so I'll try and keep it short. But it's basically going to be the whole of the church being C flag. As I've always said, it's the key power position because it's the direct center of the map. All the flags in all 4 directions around it are all kind of an equal distance, and all the enemies who play in this game will always be attacking or defending this flag at any time throughout the game. So you can always find kills on this flag. You could stay in the church the entire game and, you know, get pretty much top the leaderboard just by staying on this flag. So all the enemies have to push through this flag if they want to go from B to D, from E to A, etc. So that's why this is the main sort of key power position. In terms of the areas you want to be using to maximize kills, here is absolutely perfect for the start of any game because you've got an easy head glitch to kill all the enemies over there, as well as all the enemies here, which will be hiding against the pillar there or that corner pillar over there. You do need to be careful throughout the game when using this spot if there are enemies pushing on a flank behind you or camping up by the organ, because you will get shot in the back. If you are aware that there's enemies there, you can obviously push around and use this side, but it depends of course on what flags are being held at any point in time. But either side of this is really good head glitch cover to attack and shoot any of the enemies. In terms of other spots to sort of use, these broken pillars here are always good to use from enemies that are pushing, you know, from A, because you've got good cover here, and you know, you can attack people pushing through here while you can hear footsteps of enemies that are pushing around this way. And when the enemy runs around the corner, they're going to be expecting to see you and shoot you straight away, but you're standing behind the pillar, and most of the time they get confused and don't realize that you're there. So those are 2 really good ones. I'd say standing in this sort of circle area here is another key area. Using this as a good cover, you can see, you know, sort of just about over it, enemies that push through A or on the other side there to come into the flag generally won't check in this center area and will just run straight past you, in which case you get, you know, 3 easy kills shooting them in the back. And the last sort of key area I would suggest to use, which I always use, is I always jump up here, and you can get so many easy good kills on enemies that just are completely oblivious to you being here, and kill the people who are sat in the corner down there. I'll use this pretty much all the time when I know enemies are pushing in not large numbers from that direction. But that's sort of the 3 or 4 key things I would sort of do on this flag. If you're wondering about the organ up there, I very rarely do push up there because you get shotgun campers and other things like that. The best thing you can do here is probably just, I guess it's like underground B flag, stay underneath it, and you can kill the enemies that jump down off of it or shoot them in the back. But yeah, in all, C flag as a whole is basically just one big power position, and you can choose how you want to play on the flag. But those are the sort of key things I would do. Okay, so the next power position is going to be quite a big one. I guess it's more of a power route rather than a power position. But for this one, it's going to be probably the best power position in Battlefield 5. It's a main route which flows through from the British spawn at E, through coming past D flag down there, and through over towards C flag, which is obviously the main biggest power position. And C flag and D flag are probably the 2 most populated areas of any Devastation game where you can find and get the most amount of kills. So patrolling and using this corridor effectively cuts off the flow of enemies between both flags while providing good lines of sight, like here, on C flag and the enemies that are coming basically from this only one way to get to D. So that's sort of the best position here, as well as defending on the enemies coming up from here. If you come through, again, you can build some cover, and you've got a perfect line of sight on the enemies coming from D or from there, or even from enemies if they manage to push past you here. If you jump across, what I'll always do, rather than running onto D flag, this is a similar situation to B flag in that I do go on D flag, but very rarely. I'll effectively just run. Again, there's more cover you can build. I'll run in here, have a quick glance and check at the flag. Normally there's enemies in that corner or on the sort of banister balcony area there. Pick off any kills that I can. As soon as I can't see enemies on my screen, even if there's one enemy left there or two, I'll run straight through then, either that way towards C, or through here towards E, where you can kill enemies that are in the church. If you've got a long range weapon, you can kill enemies that are on the banister up there by the organ, and obviously killing all the enemies that are spawning and coming from E, who are always pretty much, unless they go that way, you can cut them off coming through here to D, coming through here to D, or going across here or here to go to C. So this sort of route here allows you to patrol and cut off all the routes coming from E, cuts off all routes coming from D, and obviously if you run all the way through, you can cut off the enemies coming from C. And you could probably get 100 kill games just staying and using this main part of the map. And to finish off this spot, I won't run over there, but if there are enemies holding this position which you can't get in here, or you know there's enemies going to be coming through here soon, or if you want to defend E flag better, then jump over to the other building there on that rooftop section, which is very similar to this, but it's closer to E, which can improve your accuracy and allows you to see the enemies better and cut them off better. And you can use it to give yourself an elevated position of height to attack the enemies that are obviously controlling this spot before you can obviously get there. You can kill the enemies where I am now from there and then push back into here. But this is probably second to C flag, the next biggest power position on this map, and probably one of the best ones in the game. The next power position here is going to be up by these windows on this high elevated position in between C flag and B flag. This is the perfect position to use when the enemies have got B flag. When you're capturing, it doesn't matter whether you're capturing or you've got C flag, the enemies are always pretty much going to run from B through this point here, so up this pathway, and go to C. So you've got perfect elevated height. There is cover with a smoke, which can make it hard for you to be seen, and you can get easy kills on all the enemies pushing from here or coming across the bridge. You can hear them running all the way up, so you can again easily use a lean here and kill so many enemies. You can build sandbags which will slow them down, and obviously you can cut them off coming across this road here. At the same time, I don't like to push over onto B flag because there's 3 different stories, if you go down there as well, where it's just full of dark corners where enemies can be on any level, hiding in a corner. You're very likely to die, and it'll take you ages to find enemies and get kills. So I never really run over or onto B flag. So this is as far as I will go, and this is the power position therefore to attack or defend the enemies coming from B. At the same time, you're also not running too far from the main power position of the map C, so as soon as the enemies start capturing it, if they've gone across that bridge there, you can very quickly and easily run back down onto the flag and get back into the action, rather than running over onto B, dying, not finding any enemies or kills, and having to run double the distance to come back. So the first key power position on Devastation is going to be basically A flag, which is near the German spawn on the other side here. and it works best when you're the British side pushing and attacking the German team, who are obviously spawning over there, and A being their closest, I guess, spawn flag. The best place to position yourself on this flag is not going to be underneath the bridge in the center. It's going to be here on this side where you've got good cover with sandbags. You can also attack any enemies that push you around that corner there. You've got good cover here, sort of like a head glitch to attack from here. Also, you can climb up on here into this little divot. Again, gives you good cover on any of the enemies who pretty much are always going to spawn or be in that center part and run around here to face you. It's really easy on this flag to hear enemies' footsteps, so if you're standing in this area, you can pretty much see them coming from there, and this train or tram here gives you perfect cover for the enemies that are on the other side. And you can climb up here very, very briefly, pick off 1 or 2 enemies, and then jump back down, reload, rinse and repeat. Obviously you've got to be careful you don't get sniped from over there, but you know, you can really well use this area and even jump up here. The second sort of, I guess, mini power position on this larger power position is going to be in this corner here. There will be sandbags sometimes up here, which gives you more, you know, cover on both sides. So you've got plenty of cover to take on enemies that way. But the main benefit here is you can jump up on this little corner here, which if you crouch, you're very well hidden to the enemies that are spawning there, 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 and there. You're covered from being sniped from anybody on the bridge there, and also you can kill anybody who's going this way. And most people who are running around in the middle, in the center here, don't look up straight away. So this is very, very good and very useful. You'll see me use this all the time as well. You don't need to do this, but you can jump up a bit higher if you want a brief moment to kill quite a few enemies on the bridge. So A as a flag is a key power position because there's so many spawns from the German side here. There's always kills to be got. And for the 5th and final power position, it's going to be near D flag on the way or through the routes that are going towards the middle of the map of C flag. So there's this sort of balcony here, along with, as you will know from previous videos, an invisible platform there, which I'll show you now. It's very easy to get up to, as follows. You can use this as an elevated position when the enemies are capturing D flag, and you know you might be on your own, and so you don't really want to push it solo. You can go up here, cut the enemies off that are coming through here, or are going to capture D and run out that way to go towards D. Or they're coming to capture D flag from C, and you can kill them there, high elevated position, an element of surprise killing them from there, you know, or killing the enemies there. You can also use this to kill or have a better sight on enemies standing in that glitch spot there. If you stand here, you can lean over C and shoot onto the enemies on C flag or coming from C flag. And if you grab the corner of the ledge and just spam the climb, turn left, climb, and then there's a drop in between here, but you can very easily just jump and grab, and then you're on a long sort of platform along here, as you can see. And you'll see me use this pretty much every Devastation game. You get an elevated position, you can kill enemies on either side, you know, even over that sort of ledge there on the other side of the church, you can get some kills. And if anything, you can use this as a sort of power flank, if I want to use that term, where rather than running through that direction or running through the buildings that way, you can come directly through the middle while being able to get a good line of sight on the enemies coming from this flag. And then I guess the final sort of point is, once you do get up here, you can obviously jump down and go for a flank on all the enemies that might have just come off of C flag to go towards D. And again, now you're using another power position, coming through and killing them as they've gone past you when you've gone through the middle of the section of the map there.